whole lot of levels. Now, my name is Steve Balliet. I'm basically the general manager of Hershey's Chocolate World. I run this building, responsible for all operations in here. And we have employee meetings in here pretty routinely. Once a month, we bring everybody in, as you can imagine. We tell them everything that's going on in Hershey's Chocolate World. And every time I come in here for an employee meeting, everybody's always back there. So to actually come in here and have the group sitting up front and be like, no, he already has to say, it's kind of cool. So welcome to Hershey's Chocolate World, and thanks for getting up early on a Sunday morning to see some of the great things that we have here behind the scenes. I think you'll enjoy your time this morning. Love coaster enthusiasts. I'll give you a little bit of background on me, because I'm a bit of a coaster nut myself. I came up through the theme park and attraction business. I started at Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom as a seasonal employee. Anybody ever been there? Figures much. I started there in 1988, right? So, yeah, quite a while ago. Saw Hercules being built, rode that beast probably more times than I care to remember that my spine has gotten over, and left the Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom, came to Hersheypark during the time that they were building the Wildcat, Lightning Racer, Great Bear. Went to Cedar Point for a summer after Cedar Fair popped, Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom. Worked there for a summer, so I love coasters. My favorite coaster, if anybody cares, is Griffin at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Love that ride. It's just absolutely outstanding. I took my daughter on that, and she just absolutely loves it. Now she's a nut too. So really a great pleasure for me to be here talking with you this morning. One of the things that I think is really kind of cool that a lot of coaster enthusiasts don't really think about when they think about Hershey's Chocolate World is we really are, a mini theme park here underneath one roof. We've got food, we've got rides, we have attractions, we have entertainment, we have food and beverage, we have retail, we have parking, we have security. So really, all of those theme park operations really occur underneath the several 100,000 square feet underneath this roof. So we function very similarly to what most theme parks and attractions do. And the ride that you're about to see, and you're going to hear a lot more about that, opened in 1972. But let's take a step back to the early 1900s and Milton Hershey. And Milton Hershey was an amazing man, and I know that many of you have probably been to Hershey many times and know the story of Milton Hershey and Rags to Riches filled many, many times. But the really amazing thing about Milton Hershey was that he knew, even back in the day that he started making milk chocolate, was that word of mouth was going to be the best way that he could advertise and get people to buy his chocolate and get them to know that his chocolate was absolutely the best quality. He knew that, and the day that he opened up his factory, he opened up that factory floor for people to come through that factory, tour that factory, and get a sample of his candy at the end. And that was really where it started. And that tradition continued all the way up until 1972, when literally 1 million people were going through the factory at 19 East. There was so much dust and dirt and sanitation concerns and food safety concerns that in 1970 they said, you know what, we just can't sustain this anymore. We can't be bringing people through here and guarantee to millions of people who buy our products every day that they're going to have a consistent, safe chocolate product. So we've got to do something different. So in 1972, they built Hershey's Chocolate World and started out as the tour ride in the configuration that you're going to see today. That track has not changed in 40 years. And the ride mechanism has not changed substantially in 40 years. So what you're going to see is what Aerodynamics installed in 1972 to run back then, and it has run very well and very reliably for 40 years. Hershey's Chocolate World has grown dramatically over the 40 years that we've been open. In around 2002, we built this theater that you're sitting in. Started the really big 3D show and began to understand that there were a lot of tourists out there, a lot of people that were traveling that wanted more than just the tour ride, that there was a real opportunity for them to learn more and more about chocolate and to immerse them in our brands in really, really unique and different ways. And we started to build on that strategy. And we started a little chocolate tasting adventure, a really, really small room, spent very little money to get it going, started it up, and it has been running now for 6 years. It's sold out all the time, and if you hadn't done it, and I don't know if this is on your itinerary or something to do, but if you get a chance to do it because it's really, really a great tasting experience. We teach you how to taste chocolate. We give you a tour through some of our best brands that we make, and really immerse you in our brand. But then in 2010, we opened up Create Your Own Candy Bar. We actually installed a chocolate making line in Hershey's Chocolate World. Think about that, kind of going back to the history of the reason why we opened up. And to have a factory in here where people can go through, see chocolate being made, and make their own candy bar. And that's been kind of the holy grail. You know, you think about, I know you guys know a lot about parks and attractions, and, when a park opens up a new ride, they get a big spike in attendance, and then year after year it slowly decreases. I will tell you, we opened up Create Your Own Candy Bar in 2010, and it continues to grow year after year after year. And for a major attraction, that's pretty incredible, and it's pretty powerful because it really connects our people to one of the core things that they want to do, and they really want to experience chocolate when they come to Hershey's Chocolate World. So Create Your Own Candy Bar. We continue to grow. If any of you have not been here in over a year, raise your hand. So if you haven't been here in over a year, our retail floor looks substantially different than what it looked like the last time you were here. We've made a major renovation to how people enter and exit the tour ride. We've made a major renovation to our retail space. Not really enlarging our floor plan at all, just kind of rearranging the jigsaw puzzle in there that gives us more space to cue people, more space to tell our story a little bit better, and opportunities to shop more effectively. And we're really excited with the work that's being done. As you'll hear from our team, that's really a bit of a work in progress. We still have a few more years of work till that's going to be what we call fully bright, so to speak. But that's kind of where we're going. It's an exciting time in Hershey's Chocolate World. It's an exciting time for the Hershey Company. I think one of the things that you'll hear from me as we kind of do a little bit on the tour ride ramp is, there's a lot of storytelling to be done here. Hershey's is a global company. We're all over the world doing great things, and we're going to start to tell that story more effectively on our tour ride ramp as time goes on. And we really want to tell that story, help you understand what Hershey's is all about, and get you to taste some great chocolate. So I believe, and I'm going to check my watch here, that I'm running a little bit ahead of time. Does anybody have any questions for me? I'm kind of giving you my spiel before we get started. Come on, somebody has something. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, so that's a great question. I don't think it's any secret that the tour ride is ready for an update, and I can assure you that is going to be happening in the near future. The other really, really cool thing that we did is the Hershey's Great Chocolate Factory Mystery in 4D, which is directly behind me. Some of you may or may not know, we worked collaboratively with the Jim Henson Company to develop the movie. They did all the animation for the movie, but they also allowed us to use their digital puppetry technology. And if you haven't had a chance to see that, it's really, really amazing. And I know everybody's familiar with Turtle Talk with Crush, where you can actually interact with an animated character, and Turtle Talk does that really, really well. But one of the things that the Jim Henson digital puppetry system does is that it allows our digital puppeteers to manipulate the facial expressions, the mouths, and the actual animation in real time in a way that Turtle Talk never can do. And our candy ambassadors, Hershey, Reese, and Kiss, that are animated on the screen, they represent those brands. They have specific personalities that they want to bring to life. And the really, really unique rig that the Jim Henson digital puppetry system uses allows them to bring those characters to life and represent those brands in ways that the very simple mechanisms that Turtle Talk with Crush wouldn't have been able to make them, allow them to do. We have live interactions with the digital character in our lobby. Inside the movie has 3 different branch points that the audience makes decisions about where the story goes. So if you kind of do the math on it, it's almost 100 different storylines. We have 3 different alternate characters that show up in there. Twizzler makes an appearance in one, Icebreaker makes an appearance in one, and Jolly Rancher makes an appearance in another. So every time you come in, you're going to see it a little bit differently, and you're going to experience it a little bit differently. So we're really proud of the mechanics and the storytelling there and how that's all come to life. So Josh is well versed on that, and Missy Groff is doing the tour as well. So if any questions on that, you can ask. Oh, there she is back there. So with that, it is about 10 after, and my time is about up. We want to get you guys broken up into 3 groups. I think Josh will help you guys break up so that we can get you into some of the smaller spaces behind the tour ride and get you guys to see all the great things there is to see at Chapel World. So thank you. Enjoy your stay. Thank you for coming this morning. Up here, and if you have any specific questions, talk to me down. I'd be happy to answer any of them.
Usually the evening shift maintenance guy on duty here. This is our super high-tech computer system control for the ride for all of our sets. Audio, video, animatronics, everything else on the ride is controlled from here. This is a program called Medialon. That's what controls all of our videos. It tells everything to come on. It tells everything to what to do. We have little contacts down here that the computer program controls, and it sends the signal to everything out in the ride, hardwired to fire on. Each video screen on the ride TV set is sent out from those video servers down there, and then they're amplified for signal for loss of strength over the length of the cables. Each projector in our finale at the end of the ride is controlled from one computer. Each video screen is controlled from one computer, and it has one main head unit here, computer to program each one. Doesn't need to run for each one to run individually, but they sync together via this computer. Other than that, all of our audio is transferred out via these sound rep units here. There's 5 of them. Each one does certain speakers on the ride, and it's all digitally programmed. You have them there with special ports, special programming. We have different speakers out in the ride, and there's all the amplifiers that we run through. Yep, just regular, everyday amplifiers. Other than that, there's not a whole lot more to it. We just use regular players for the voices for the little bull up front that talks to you first. Welcome to Travel World, tour ride, and some other voices on the ride for cows and different cow sets and stuff like that. All the cars have a track trigger, and they hit at certain points on the ride, and it triggers something. It triggers a media line, and it's that snap and IO thing there, and fires up. Connects to one of those rolling units up there playing audio when a car passes it.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna now head to the turntable.
Video, yeah.
VIP area, so this is where we get to help guests that come in with a wheelchair. That's why you guys are standing here. VIP. So anybody that needs to come up this way that can't do steps, we take this way. So behind you are the wheelchairs, and they are free. So when guests come in, we just it's a great assistance that we give them. So when the ride's moving, they'll cross over here. We do have employees, at least 2 employees are helping the guests across. This is very slow, but we still, if it was moving, you'd probably go like this a little bit. So we want to make sure that we help the guests across. So that once they cross over here, I'll take you over here. You guys can follow me. You'll see car number 108. That is one of our wheelchair cars. We have 3 on the ride, and they are separated. They're scattered throughout the ride to give our employees time to get the guests on and off, and to be able to put another one on the minute the next one comes up. So I'll show you here. Usually when it gets to about here is when the gate comes down, and then we push the chair up. But it's very simple. This just comes down, and then we help the guests that are not in the chair in first, and then we push in, put the chair in, and then timing works. If the timing is right on, they're usually good to go by where car number 4 is. So it's plenty of time. There's plenty of time. So we have employees that are designated just to handle those situations and to give the right customer service to those guests. So, so this is the turntable. We have different positions on here, and it's all about customer service and safety. Top 2 priorities by working on the tour ride. We have 3 lines, and actually when we leave, we're going to go up this way, so don't worry about focusing on the queue line yet. We're going to meet Steve up there. But we have 3 lines, and this is where the guests come down. And so take pictures. I just don't want to say too much if he can't hear me. Is he good? Okay. So on a busy summer day, we have all 3 queue lines going. Weekends, they're going. Anytime it's busy, we have 3 lines. But usually Monday to Friday this time of the year, it's only 1 line. But weekends, every day in the summer, it's so busy down here. But it just keeps going. Everything just keeps flowing. So we have attendants here. Their job is to help guests across this moving turntable, okay? To go from non-moving to moving. And they're walking with them to help them. They're assisting them, okay? So when we train our employees, again, focus, customer service, and safety, okay? They're getting the guests onto the cars, okay? Well, sending them over. Then we have an attendant over here that is helping them into the car, okay? Because you can see, especially the front seat, it's lower than the back seat. And that throws people off sometimes, so we never want people to sit and fly down. So our attendants are trained to help the guests as needed to sit in the car. And then they're off on their way. As the cars come out, we have 2 attendants that are over there to help the guests out of the car. 2 to 3 attendants. Because again, you're going from sitting to moving to non-moving. It can be a little tricky sometimes. So we have attendants there to help to make sure everyone's good to go. And then right where you're standing, we have an attendant. You have to give the bottle. Put your standing up, turn. I'll show you the turn. Yeah, there you go. And you're helping the guests. Okay. Yeah, so they step out, help the guests across, and again, keep it as smooth as possible for them to have the best experience possible, safety-wise and customer service. So those are the main positions that we have up here. We also have someone at the ride entrance, and that is, if someone does come up in a wheelchair, then we call the appropriate employee, they come get them, answer questions, all that kind of, just like Hersheypark does at their ride entrance. And then we have someone at the exit, which I don't know if you'll get to see. It's past these monitors, handing out candy then, of course, and thanking them. Have a great day. Rafe is one of them. Rafe's great, yes, he's a great employee. So any questions on the positions? it's kind of self-explanatory. Over the summer, we definitely have someone as well floating on this area, on this side. That's again to make sure everybody's seated and reminding them, stay seated the whole time, enjoy your ride. So
can you stop the platform?
yes. Well, I'm going to go over that next. When you stop the platform, you stop the whole ride. So we don't have a button that just stops this, even though I wish we did. But once you stop the ride, and there's a couple. There's one over there on the wall, one on the other side, and one over here. So one of the things, in case someone does have a hard time getting in, or they lose their balance and fall, whatever causes them to. For us to have to stop the ride, right? So again, focusing on safety, as well as the minute that the power goes out in the building, the ride will stop. So we know when we're standing in the lobby through a thunderstorm and the flickers, we run up here because we know the ride stopped. And then we do an evacuation. The evacuation, unfortunately, we have to get everybody off the ride, but again, it's for safety reasons.
So how often does that happen?
Oh, very
really?
few times.
Oh, very few.
Yeah, very few times. Over the summer, and it's not even every thunderstorm. It's just ones that would be powerful enough to trigger the electricity. And then I would say we probably do 2 handfuls a year. Like it's not much, when you think of 12 months.
I was
Yes,
saying,
it's not often.
five children have probably been on this ride hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yeah.
I've never seen it stop.
Yeah, good.
Never had it delay. It's never
Yep.
shut down or nothing.
It is very rare to, yep.
Is
yep.
it always running at the same speed, or is it
Yep.
a sped up or slowed down?
Nope, same speed all the time. Yep, same speed. Yeah, so when the ride stops, whether it's by us pushing the button or, power going out, we have tags over there. That is every door that, we just walked through 4, came out 5, those yellow doors. The employees will go out to those doors and they're trained on what to do then. You take the guests that you see, walk them with you off the ride. And then we do a couple walkthroughs, either the manager on duty or maintenance or both. We'll walk through just to make sure everybody's off the ride. Maintenance will do their startup, and then we're back to being on track. So
Probably takes some time.
it does. It's about 10. It's definitely 10 to 15 minutes till everybody's off the
If you
ride.
have a wheelchair out there, or has the accessibility?
They
map?
stay out.
Okay.
Yep, they stay out, and we keep an employee with them.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So, yep. Yeah. So that's the evacuation, and again, our employees are trained that if push the button. We'd rather us be safe than sorry. If something, if there's a reason you need to push the stop button, push it. Evacuation, guests always understand. Yeah, it's never an issue. So, trying to think of what else to cover. Any questions at all? I think we have to head up to Steve next. You guys good? Wheelchair access makes sense? Okay, all right, cool. We're gonna go up this way.
Just like
Good ride, good ride, good ride, good ride.
The the new entrance to the Great American Chocolate Tour. And this has been a really, really fun project that's been over 4 years in the making to get it to this point. One other thing I wanted to mention too is, I've been with Chocolate World for a little over 11 years, and we've never done a behind-the-scenes tour like this. So I just wanted everybody to know that one, this is a pretty big deal for us, and it should be I hope it's a big deal for you too, because we've never done it. So I hope you enjoy it. And so let's talk about what we looked like a year ago. And I know that everybody's been on the original chocolate making tour, or hopefully have been on the original chocolate making tour. And you went up 3 ramps in our summer season, and actually even Christmas, many times during the year. That tour ride ramp would fill up, and we would be spilling out into the lobby with stanchions, lines even going out the door on many days. And as you think about what we want our guests to, and even when the line went out the door, right? I know you guys get this. The wait from the door through all the queues that we had lined up in the lobby, up the ramp, it was about a 30 to 40 minute wait to get on the ride. So you start to do that math, and it's a 12-minute ride, right? So a 30-minute wait for a 12-minute ride, that ain't a bad deal. You guys are waiting that any day of the week. But for guests who are coming here, their first impression when they see a huge line out into the lobby is, oh my God, I do not want to do this. It looks way too crowded. So we said, you know what, we really need to fix that. It created logistical issues, people not being able to shop through the building, you know, just a ton of other issues. The other thing, if you remember, was that the exit to the ramp, the exit to the tour ride, circled around this retail space and ramped down, actually came out right about there. Well, the other thing that did from a design standpoint was created really low ceilings throughout the retail space. So you had to walk through this teeny little tunnel, so to speak, to get into the retail space. And then even as you got in there, it just felt really claustrophobic. And as our crowds grew, you would be here on on any given day, and parents would be holding on to their kids for dear life, and they'd be like, I gotta get out of here. So we had to fix it. So big leap of faith to take down all of that ramp system, open up the retail space from floor to ceiling, and make it much more shoppable, make it much more comfortable for our guests, and increase the number of guests that we can get through here on a regular basis. So let's talk about the storytelling. As we thought about what we wanted this thing to look like, we go back to what our guests expect as they come to Hershey's Chocolate World. And we're the home of, they're going to the chocolate factory, right? If, kids in St. Louis are saying they're going to Hershey, like, we want to go to the chocolate factory, and that is us. And we are a representation of the chocolate factory. So we wanted to bring what we call the repurposed factory aesthetic inside our building. So if this had once been a factory and it was shut down to manufacturing and we made it a museum or retail shop and tour ride, this is what it would have looked like. So we brought in the big tall windows, the brickwork that matches now what's on the outside of the building, where we've got the red brick, the smokestacks, and we've kind of tying it all together thematically for storytelling, which is really important. So the repurposed factory backdrop provides the stage to bring our brands to life, Hershey, Reese, and Kiss, in really fun and meaningful ways. So we get to the entrance to the ride, and as we walk up, I'll talk a little bit about the queue itself. My disclaimer here is that we are not in an end state on the queue. We're just starting. I've alluded to the fact that we've got some changes coming up in the future for the tour ride, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And really what we want to do is talk a little bit about the heritage of Milton Hershey, where he came from, the Columbian Exposition, where he bought his first chocolate making equipment, take it up into the history of the company from the early 1900s all the way up to today on the historical timeline on the wall. Then it'll move into the jungle, cacao growing, where it's grown, and then the final message before you get down onto the tour ride is going to be our corporate social responsibility, and that's just big fancy words to say that the Hershey Company does an amazing job giving back to all of the communities around the world that it operates in. The Milton Hershey School is a huge part of that. It's one part now, and we want to tell all the other parts. So let's take a walk back up. I know you guys came down this way. We're going to walk up to the ballroom real quick, the big queue, and we'll talk up there real briefly. Of the timeline, and we're actually pretty happy with this right now. We start all the way down at the end with the start of our founders manufacturing in the early 1900s, and then give you basically a really big kind of broad stroke timeline of all the great things that have happened through the years, all the major brand launches, acquisitions, all the way up to 2013 with the launch of Lancaster Caramels being launched around the world. So this is a great way to tell the story, and for people who don't know about all the things that have happened through the years, all the different brands that we have, and when they've come to life. So we're excited about this and being able to tell this story as well. One of the other things that we're able to do, just a couple days ago, I was in one of our warehouses. We've come across a couple pieces of original factory equipment that we're going to place up here, reconfigure the queue a little bit, but allow our guests to see what some of that original chocolate manufacturing equipment out of 19 East looked like. There's an original Kiss wrapper, there's an original die-fold wrapper from the old Hershey bar, from the old Hershey bars, and sugar, I can't remember what the other piece was. But as you go out on the floor, I talk about the repurposed factory aesthetic. You'll see conveyor belts out there, but you'll also see some of the original factory tubs that were in the 19 East plant. They're the steel tubs that sit on the floor on wheels. They weigh hundreds of pounds, but those are original out of the plant. We actually took them out of the warehouse, cleaned all the chocolate off them, and now they hold plush and other items here. But they are original out of the factory, and it's pretty special.
You're saying on the merchandise floor?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I'm trying to see if I can see one from here and I can point it out to you. I can see it. I don't know if you'd be able to see it. There's an A-frame fixture with wheels on it straight out there. Just to the right of that, you can see that tub sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Yep, that's one of them. But they're marked. They have a tear weight on the side. It says tear, and there's a weight on it, so that when they would put them on the scale, they would know what the weight of the tub was, and they'd know what the balance, the difference was, the chocolate. So yeah, it's fun.
It's very interesting.
It's fun. So as our guests come through here, we'll go around. They'll be going around the corner. The jungle will be coming back. So if you remember on the original tour ride, you had the jungle and a little bit of story around cacao. That'll be coming back in that space, and then you'll be moving into a lot of the storytelling around all the great things that the Hershey Company is doing to give back around the globe, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know. You may or may not know. We have 12 Hershey's chocolate. 12. It's still 12. Hershey's chocolate worlds all around the world. So you might know that we've got a store in Times Square. We just opened up a store in Vegas, Niagara Falls. We have 2 in Shanghai right now, Singapore, Dubai. So we are, really have a global presence with our stores all around the world.
But no rides at those, right?
No rides in those. Yeah.
Any plans to put another chocolate ride somewhere else?
There are no plans at this point. There are no plans at this point. We are the global flagship. We are the home of chocolate manufacturing. So we're going to keep that here.
Oh, makes sense.
Any questions? Let's move along. And then this room, we're starting to tell the story here of some of the things that are going on in the company. The San Juan de Sheni story is really, really amazing. Scharfenberger chocolate, which is one of our artisan brands and one of the best chocolates in the world, bar none, actually found and worked with the San Juan de Sheni community in Peru to bring their really, really unique variety of cacao back to a sustainable level. And we actually make a bar with Scharfenberger makes a bar with single source cacao from San Juan de Sheni. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing stuff, pretty amazing story. And the life that it's brought back to the community has been a tremendous success story. So those, our stories aren't just in Hershey, PA anymore. They're all around the world. All around the world, Africa, Mexico. So if nobody else has any questions, I think we are heading down to the turntable and getting ready for it to fire up.
Group leader, so thanks to Missy and Frank and Steve and your maintenance guys. Alright, so now that we've got everybody here, you will be the first ones of the day on the ride. However, before we do that, we want to do a group picture of everyone in here. This will be, to my knowledge, the biggest group photo we've ever done on the turntable. So if you all want to come to this middle area, we'll stand on the steps. And I don't know if
Bus bar energized.
you know you can do it. I don't know.
Exceed the weight limit, exceed the weight limit.
While we were taking the picture, could you imagine?
Oh my God, that was so funny. Thank God, no face expression.
Clear of the ride. Cars moving.
depending on where they're grown. And blending machines, such as those on the left, combine beans from various countries in just the right proportions to maintain that unique Hershey's flavor. With the beans blended, they're then set ahead to be roasted in large revolving roasters like this one. The roasted cocoa beans are then ready to move on to the next stage of the process, a process that will begin to transform plain cocoa beans into Hershey's milk chocolate. It begins right up ahead with a process known as breaking. With the beans now roasted, they arrive here at the breaking chamber, where the shells are shattered into tiny fragments. What's left is called the nib, the part of the bean actually used to make chocolate. The nibs now pass through milling machines, as seen on the left. This grinding process generates extreme heat, which melts the nib into a liquid called chocolate liquor. Of course, this liquid has no alcohol content. This is the liquid from which all chocolate is made. Next, this large press machine is used to squeeze cocoa butter from the chocolate liquor. This cocoa butter will be added back later in the process to make the chocolate smooth and creamy. Well, now we've come to that all-important element, milk. And who better to tell us about it than the experts themselves? Until it becomes a smooth blend of milk chocolate. But we're not done yet. From here, the liquid chocolate leaves the large containers in this chamber, where it will be dried once again. Yes, that's right. This liquid mixture is now conveyed to dryers, such as the ones you see on your left process. The dryer removes excess moisture, which results in chocolate crumb. The machine up ahead adds cocoa butter into the mix, which transforms it into a smooth chocolate paste, ready for refining. What's that wonderful smell? That's right. After all that shaking, breaking, baking, and flaking, we're finally coming up with Hershey's milk chocolate. But there's still a ways to go before it's finished. On your left is a series of roll refining machines. The refining process grinds the chocolate until it reaches a uniform and smooth consistency. Next, as seen on your left, the chocolate is further refined by a unique process called conching. These heavy rollers refine the chocolate for up to 72 hours until it reaches a silky, liquid texture. The material that leads the conching process is called chocolate paste. These machines supply production lines with over 1 million pounds of chocolate paste per day. Now, after all that effort, we're finally ready to make our Hershey's chocolate bar. Here on your right, chocolate bars are moving the molding line. They're then cooled and removed from the molds, the final step before being wrapped.
see us again real soon.
Thanks for joining us here at the Hershey Factory Tour. We hope you enjoyed your visit and that you'll come and see us again soon. And enjoy the rest of your day here at Hershey's Chocolate.
They do a good job making it work. Well, thank you. You're welcome.